From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports as we get your work week started here for a Monday, the 24th day of March for 2025. Yeah, Mike Will, Tyson Havronic with you here this morning. All your news, weather, and sports. Going to be talking about a lot of Husker teams in action over the weekend. The baseball team was out in California playing a 3-game series with USC. The softball team was at home playing host to Minnesota. Some good news coming out of the Nebraska wrestling program as well this morning. Season is over for the Nebraska women's basketball team as they lose to Louisville in the first round of the NCAA tournament on Friday. We'll hear from Husker head coach Amy Williams coming up. Hastings College baseball team had their games postponed yesterday with Morningside. They'll get on the diamond this afternoon, and a couple of games you'll have right here on Extreme Sports. The softball team getting ready for their games coming up on Wednesday with Concordia, and some high school baseball to tell you about this morning. Plus, we'll get you up to date on the NCAA men's college basketball tournament. Also let you know what's going on in the NAIA national tournaments. All that and more coming up this morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios here this morning. Good morning.
And a good morning to you, Mike, as we get going here on this Monday morning. Yeah, certainly lots to chat about today, and I guess we can start off as we kind of get an update, if we will, on the weekend that was for our brackets. We have a bracket challenge going on. We had a great response, by the way, for our bracket challenge. I think around 74 participated. I was under the assumption that we were probably just going to have like the one or two guys that were giving us a lot of guff for the football season. And I'll just go ahead and I'll just say it. My bracket sucks right now.
Oh, it does. It does.
It sucks right now. I need to preface that with the fact that we haven't had the big bracket buster, right? I haven't lost a Final Four team. I still have 6 of my Elite 8 that are hanging around in there. But it was a rough go. We picked a lot of upsets that, quite frankly, didn't happen. There wasn't the big, wild, crazy upsets this year. We had McNeese State. They went one round, but the Cinderella story, there wasn't really a big slipper. I think if there was a Cinderella story, it's probably Maryland, because I don't think a lot of people had them advancing very far. They had the big dramatic moment last night. But other than that, my bracket's been rough.
I just noticed.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
No, you're at the bottom of the stack here.
Yeah. There's 74 brackets. I'm
You're in 74th place.
70, yeah.
How in the hell did you get down to 74th place? I checked you throughout the weekend.
Grand Canyon, that was a fail. They were pretty good against their own competition. They weren't good against the other teams. We lost to Yale. We had some wild stuff in that bracket. I mean, we had Gonzaga shooting out through theirs side of things on the bottom side. But like I said, I still feel good.
No, you don't.
I still feel really good because the teams that I have in the Final Four, the teams that I have in the championship, have looked extremely strong.
I know, but everybody else has those teams too.
Not everybody.
Who's your Final Four?
We're going to move up the list. We have Duke, we have Michigan State, we have Kentucky, we have Florida.
Okay, you got a couple of... That's probably not
outliers in there.
Yeah, Michigan State probably is not in a lot of people's Final Four. Mm-hmm. Kentucky,
probably not in a lot of people's Final Four.
No.
So I feel good, despite the fact that we're at the bottom. We're just a horse that got out of the gates a little bit slow. we're gonna close. Give me the ball in the ninth inning, man. Like, I'm not gonna go 5 innings with this arm anymore. But you give me the ball in the ninth, and I can shut down the door for you. So I just want to get that out of the way because I know a lot of people are looking at that bracket and being like, "Whoa!" Like, Ty's off his rocker again. Shocker, big deal. I feel good as we move into Sweet 16 weekend where I'm at. I feel like I can close, and at least I'm probably not gonna storm up the ranks and win the damn thing.
No.
But I think I'm gonna turn that into a respectable bracket at the end.
Lexi Brooks right now is on top of the bracket challenge. Lexi Brooks 22, and then followed by Jay Will. It's no relation to me. I don't know Jay
Really?
Will. No, that's no relation to me. It's not any part of my. I don't think.
Family?
No. So Jay Will sneaks in there. He's in second, tied with Autumn S. Picks 1. They're just hanging out of the lead. And then, the next 2 guys, a guy and a girl. Mm-hmm. The IT guy is kicking our butt. He's tied for 4th with Future Will.
I just put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and notice that they got the exact same score. Did they do their brackets together?
Is it literally the exact same?
Well, I don't know. It looks. It can't be exactly the same because the round of 64, the IT guy has a different score.
They both have Duke winning.
Yeah.
They probably had like one different pick.
God, they probably sat down and did their brackets together. How romantic is that?
Barf. You're not doing too shabby.
No, I'm doing good.
In 11th place after you needed a little help getting there on the first round.
Well,
to move your bracket down. Like, I pulled it up at the very start of the tournament, and I'm like, oh no.
Well,
no.
Yesterday I was in 6th.
Uh-huh.
And then I had Colorado State going yesterday, which would have been huge for me. Colorado State would have been huge for me because I predicted them to beat Maryland and move into the Sweet 16. Got to the end. I had what looked like the game-winning shot over Maryland.
Yep.
With 3 seconds to go, and then the Terps, they got this shot to beat me. So that was, I moved from 6th to 11th after that loss.
That was the game of the tournament so far.
What do you think about the game-ending play?
Honestly,
Traveling.
yes. I'm going to say it, and I didn't know if that was going to be unpopular here this morning. I think he took an extra step, and he had that ball. I mean, he looked like a running back that was making a stiff arm at the 5-yard line to try to get to the end zone.
Yeah.
Not a post player that was trying to go for a game-winning layup. It looked like traveling, and you can say all you want about like the rules and how much grace they're getting, but like we were talking the other day, over down to Brew, I was having a conversation with a guy who's coaching youth basketball, and these kids that are like watching the college games and the pro games even worse, and they're coming in and they get called for traveling, and they turn around and they throw a fit because they see these guys do it on TV all the time. Get that extra step granted to them. Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was traveling.
My wife, who's just a casual basketball watcher,
Yeah.
before I even said anything, and I'm not whining because I was on Colorado State,
Sure.
but she says, isn't that traveling? I mean, she was sitting there watching because I was fired up when Colorado State hit the shot. I thought, ooh, that's going to be a big one for me. And then Maryland scores. She says, wasn't that traveling? And I kind of looked at her and says, yeah, I think it was traveling.
And I saw it on the run of play. On like live, it looked like traveling. And then when they slowed it down, it really looked like traveling, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
he took at least 3 steps.
Yeah, we could have differing opinions. We could have basketball referees that could chime in here with the rule. But to me, naked eye, as a basketball fan, it's traveling.
Well, Endorf already chimed in. He says it was traveling, but he says he'll take it because he was on Maryland. Yeah, I think Maryland got away with one there.
Definitely traveling.
Yeah.
We got Kansas basketball, the transfer portal opening today. Ryan Martin saying choose better this time.
Yeah,
they had a loss to Arkansas. God.
Yeah, that was ugly too.
Yeah, we talked about that game a little bit, and it was just, man, they just shot themselves in the foot too many times down the stretch.
So there's 7 teams from the SEC in the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Count them up.
that was impressive.
Yeah, 7 teams from the SEC have advanced to the Sweet 16, so it's going to be like a conference tournament all over again for the SEC.
You know,
Anyway, congratulations to Lexi. I didn't know she knew. She doesn't know that much about basketball. She had to get some help.
she's rolling with 550 points.
Yeah, well, I know her. I need to see how she did her bracket, if she got help or did she just come up with a formula.
Her max, like she still has the most max points out of anybody.
I saw that.
She still has the most points out of anybody. She's poised, and she's got a good champion.
She got
I
Florida.
think Florida is a really good opportunity.
Yeah.
I guess for reference, I'm not last. I'm tied for last. Thanks, Shane, for pointing that out.
Let me
Aaron,
get back. Let me get back down to page 3 where you're located.
up.
Page 3. You're tied with
Aaron.
Aaron. You and Tyson are at 360 points.
But I have out of page 3, and here's what I'm saying: out of page 3, when you go to like the max point value,
I see that.
yeah, I'm sitting really good. I'll take 15-20.
But that's only going to put you probably mid-pack. That's if you win every single game from here on out.
Mid-pack's fine. Mid-pack's average. I can handle that.
We entered this contest to beat our competition, remember? Back when we got this thing started,
Yeah.
we were being ridiculed by our football picks, and that's how this is how the challenge got started, because our
good.
football picks were so miserable. We said, yeah, we'll take the challenge. And now you're
carrying the torch for us.
yeah, so far.
And then when you drop off and my bracket comes storming back down the stretch, I'll take the torch and finish. We'll both finish respectable.
All right, who do I got in the Final Four?
Who was your Final Four?
Who is my Final Four? I got Michigan State in the Final Four.
Copycat.
I got Michigan State and Florida. Duke and Houston.
Just one different. Good effort.
Well, really, my history in these bracket contests, there's really not one in the championship game or the Final Four. The brackets are won early in the first couple of rounds of this tournament, even though you only get a few points. If you can pick the national champion, you're obviously your odds-on favorite is to win. But the points, the marginal points that you need to move up through the ladder, so to speak, because everybody's going to pick like Duke.
Sure.
Not everybody's got Duke, but they're the odds-on favorite to win. So all those points are going to cancel out for the national champ. You got to win the national championship in order to win a contest like this.
Period. You got to win the title.
Yeah.
But your biggest push, like I always count up and I make sure that I have as many Elite 8 teams alive as possible.
Oh yeah,
Because Sweet 16 Saturday comes around, and if you can push and you can get 5 to 8 Elite 8 teams to give yourself a shot to get all Final Four in, then you're sitting pretty.
yeah. If you come to the Final Four with all 4 teams in, obviously you're going to have a great chance to winning a bracket like this. But you've got to be successful in the first 2 or 3 rounds too. And I feel good. I feel good where I'm
You're
sitting.
in a good spot.
I'm in a good spot.
I'm not in a good spot, but I also feel really good about my bracket coming through the ranks because I feel really confident in the eyeball test and who the top 4 teams in the country are. They'll probably lose this weekend because I'm giving them a shout out now. But we'll see. I think my bracket's in a good spot.
That's like coach speak stuff. What you're saying this morning is like coach speak stuff.
Yeah.
In essence, your bracket stinks. No, you should have just come out this morning and said, you know what?
No.
My bracket stinks.
I'm not going to look myself in the mirror on a Monday morning to start off my work week and call myself a loser. I'm going to say, hey, listen.
Listen, I'm not a loser.
I feel like things didn't go our way, but we can bounce back. It's just halftime. It's halftime. We got a whole second half. We're only down by 35. We only got running clock to worry about. But let's go out there and let's compete. Let's be competitive. Let's see. We got a few comments rolling in. Ryan Martin on the travel call. They won't make that travel call a game point situation and turning like that. If he would have passed it, maybe not in the midst of a winning shot. I don't know. Like, a travel's a travel's a travel, and I don't care when the travel happens, whether it's with 0.2 seconds to go in a second round game to go to the Sweet 16, or if it's in 5U, 6U basketball over at the YMCA. Travel's a travel. Like, start calling it. And then we won't have to have these horrible discussions on what is traveling. Traveling is if you take the ball and carry it like the Maryland player did to win the game. That's my opinion. I'm going to be hot, and then I'm going to stand on that. And we need to start doing it at the NBA level. We need to start calling travels on LeBron. I don't care how much millions of dollars this guy gets paid. If you want to teach kids how to play this game, start calling the damn rules.
NBA is horrible.
It's awful.
Yeah, NBA is horrible for traveling calls.
And I didn't really...
God, I didn't
think I was going to go on that tangent. But
yeah, I didn't know we were going to dominate our discussion here early about the call that I got ripped off with Colorado State.
Yeah, it was brutal. Tammy's on Team Lexi, so she's all about Go Lexi.
Dennis has chimed in. He says he's got Maryland over Florida, which is going to move him up to the rankings.
There you go. Wait, Maryland over Florida. That is an upset. Tyson would be a good professional golfer, last on the leaderboard, missed the cut, but feels good about the score. Going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Not worried about it. I'm just enjoying the competition. Just having fun watching Duke dominate. Just having fun watching Duke dominate. We lost Mike for a little bit. I think we're going to get him back here.
I'm here.
There you go. Hello. Welcome back to the show.
Tyson would be a good pro golfer.
I wouldn't, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Last on the leaderboard. Kind of missed the cut, but he feels good about his score. Oh, God. 7:17. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning as we kind of recap our bracket challenge. Lexi, she gets to hold the torch for a couple of days here. Yeah, let's hear it for Lexi.
Let's go.
She's topping the Extreme Sports bracketology leaderboard here after the first couple of rounds.
I'm just a little slow out of the gate. We'll get there.
All right, leave a comment if you'd like on our social media sites. Better yet, if you'd like to give us a call, anything that's on your mind, sports related or not. Give us a call. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. 402-834-1330 is our number. 7:18. Let's get our first check on news here this morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We start off this morning with Governor Jim Pillen declaring a state of emergency for more than 20 counties, including Clay, that were impacted by last week's winter storm. The combination of rain, sleet, hail, heavy snow, and high winds resulting in closures across multiple roadways, including Interstate 80. Conditions also did considerable damage to trees and power lines, resulting in a loss of electricity across multiple service areas, the heaviest damage occurring in the eastern part of the state. The peak outage was reported Thursday, with nearly 120,000 Nebraskans without power. It's been a message of don't panic in the Nebraska Department of Education, following news last week from the White House that the Trump administration intends to dismantle the Department of Education. Last Thursday, President Trump signed an executive order giving the Secretary of Education permission to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education and return authority over education to states and local communities. Well, Nebraska Department of Education Commissioner Brian Maher said in a statewide email to schools, quote, "We will deal with facts," and said Nebraska is prepared to handle any challenges that change might bring to our state. Secretary McMahon and White House officials have publicly stated that it would require an act of Congress to eliminate the department. Delta 8s. We've seen a surge in stores that are selling them thanks to a law that the Nebraska legislature passed with a loophole that created for companies to start selling them. And now Nebraska's Attorney General is coming down hard on the businesses, saying stop selling the products or face a judge. Over the weekend, Mike Hilgers handed out a sweeping series of cease and desist letters sent to vape shops, dispensaries, and gas stations in the Omaha metro area. The letters, in total sent to 104 stores, told business owners to accept a settlement agreement, which includes agreeing to pull any hemp-derived cannabis products off the store shelves or face a consumer protection lawsuit. Hilger calls the resulting products synthetic cannabinoids and says the Nebraska legislature never intended to legalize them with the passage of the 2018 federal farm bill and subsequent state legislation back in 2019, which made the sale of hemp legal in the state so long as the concentration of THC was less than 0.3%. It is now 7:20. We'll spin things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team dropped a 7-1 decision to USC yesterday. Huskers won the first two games of the series, 5-3 and 6-5. Nebraska now 10-13 in the season, 2-7 in the conference. They'll play at Kansas State on Tuesday. First pitch will be at 6. The Nebraska softball team swept a 3-game series from Minnesota over the weekend. Huskers won 8-0, 8-3, and 8-2. Nebraska is now 23-8 on the season. They are 4-1 in the conference. They'll play at Omaha on Wednesday. First pitch will be at 5. Ridge Lovett and Antrell Taylor won NCAA titles last night, helping Nebraska wrestling to its best performance and finish ever at the 2025 NCAA Wrestling Championships. The Huskers finished as the NCAA runner-up with 117 points. Penn State won the championship with 177 points. Season is over for the Nebraska women's basketball team. Huskers lost to Louisville 63-58 on Friday in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Huskers trailed just 59-58 with 25 seconds to go. But Brett Prince was called for an offensive foul, driving to the basket, which ended Nebraska's chances. Alexis Markowski had 12 points, 10 rebounds for the Huskers. Nebraska ends the season at 21-12. Hastings College baseball team will play host to Morningside today out at Duncan Field. The games were originally scheduled for Sunday, but were postponed. Action will get underway at 2 today. We'll have the doubleheader here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 1:45 this afternoon. The Broncos are 4-15 in the season, 2-4 in the conference after splitting 2 games at Dakota Wesleyan on Friday. Hastings College softball team dropped a pair of games at Dordt on Friday, 11-3 and 13-5. The games on Saturday at Waldorf were postponed. Hastings is now 14-12 in the season. They are 2-4 in the conference. They'll play host to Concordia on Wednesday. UNK softball team split a pair of games with Northwest Missouri State on Saturday. The Lopers won the first game 4-3, but dropped the second one 9-0. UNK is now 16-15. They're 2-4 in the MIAA. They'll play at Emporia State on Friday. Adams Central baseball team went 2-1 on the opening weekend of their season. The Patriots lost to Wayne 12-11 on Friday before coming back to beat Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer 15-4 and Louisville 17-1 on Saturday. Adams Central will play at St. Paul Palmer on Thursday. Hastings High baseball team has had their first 2 games of the season with Norris and Bennington postponed. Tigers will attempt to open their season tomorrow at York, beginning at 4:15. Winners in the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament yesterday were Florida, Duke, Alabama, Michigan State, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Maryland, and Arizona. And all 7 teams from the SEC have advanced to the Sweet 16. 2 teams from the Great Plains Athletic Conference are still alive with the Women's NAIA National Tournament in Sioux City. Dordt beat Marion of Indiana 82-61 on Saturday, while Briar Cliff defeated Governors State 65-43. So in the semifinals tonight, Bethel of Tennessee will play Dordt at 6, followed by Briar Cliff against Indiana Wesleyan at 8. In the men's tournament in Kansas City, Arizona Christian will play the College of Idaho at 5 this afternoon, followed by Oklahoma Wesleyan against Freed Hartman out of Tennessee at 7 o'clock. And free agent quarterback Jameis Winston has agreed to a 2-year contract with the New York Giants. The deal is worth $8 million. Winston played for the Cleveland Browns last season. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. It's coming up on 7:26 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Monday, guess what? More wind. That'll be the trend for the next few days, just like it's been over the weekend. On Monday, a high of 68 degrees. Those winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10. They will switch to the northwest 15 to 20, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, a low of 42. Windy once again, and a high of 70 on Tuesday. Then on the rest of the week, we'll have plenty of sunshine, dry conditions, and we'll hover right around the 60s to even 70s with 80s by the weekend.
Right now, we've got south winds at 5 miles per hour. It is cloudy 36 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, located at 208 South Burlington, Suite 101 in Hastings. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating scalp treatments, and advanced Glow 2 facials, along with ozone therapy and frequency healing. Join us for our spring open house on March 29th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy free tours, 20% off all bookings, exciting giveaways, and a chance to win a $100 gift card for the first 30 product purchases. Become a member for 24-hour access to amenities like the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge, plus discounts on services and products. Visit us on Facebook to learn more. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Truly holistic care designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Abronic with you on this Monday morning, the 24th day of March for 2025. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Extreme Sports, whether you're listening to us online at our website, x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. Thanks for joining us here. Again, 402-834-1330, our telephone number if you'd like to chime in here today, either something sports-related, something we've talked about so far, maybe something we haven't talked about so far today. Give us a call. We'll talk about it. Maybe something else on your mind today. We'll do it. Just give us a call or leave us a message on one of our social media sites. I'm Mike Will, currently in the top 15 of our bracket challenge. The other guy over there is Tyson Abronic, and he is currently in last place of our bracket challenge.
Tied for last.
Tied for last place, 74th place for Tyson Abronic after the opening weekend. How's it feel to be a loser?
It feels. I honestly like. You wake up and you're sitting dead last, and you feel confident about things.
No, did you look yourself in the mirror this morning?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I choose to start my mornings off with like some positive words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Like it could be worse, you know? Like,
no, it can't. There's nowhere to go.
There's a lot of ways to go.
You can't be any worse in the bracket challenge if you're dead ass last.
We're gonna climb. We're gonna climb out of this hole. We're gonna have a great weekend in the Sweet 16. We're gonna push all 6 of my Elite 8 teams that I have left into the Elite 8, and we're gonna pretend like none of this ever happened. Opening weekend didn't exist.
God, you guys sit here and dwell on this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and half of the day on Thursday.
You know, and I'm not dwelling too much on it. Because like my anticipation, you know where my heart and my allegiance lies, right? Thursday is my big day. We're opening day for Major League Baseball. And at that point, all other sports, once Major League Baseball starts up, become irrelevant to me. And like I'll chime in, I'll pay attention, I'll keep an eye on basketball, but it's going to be all baseball all the time.
Are you saying you're going to watch baseball this weekend over the tournament?
Yes.
The first 5 games of the 162 game season you're going to watch instead of the tournament?
Mm-hmm.
God.
Because I'm a baseball guy.
I know, but come on. Where's your priorities?
On the diamond.
For games 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Yeah, I've got 160 more games to go, but you're going to put Major League Baseball over the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament, and in terms of your viewing pleasure?
Thursday's my national holiday, even though I'm working 3 jobs on Thursday. We didn't get it off work. I don't go that far. I don't require myself to get off work for those days. But yeah, we'll be chiming in. I'll have basketball on the tube, or baseball on the tube, excuse me, and can't wait to get on the diamond. But we'll go back to the basketball court really quick because I know we want to talk some Husker women after they lost to Louisville in the first round matchup, and their season comes to a close.
Yeah, the Huskers losing to the Cards on Friday night. Head coach Amy Williams for Nebraska. She says that despite the loss, she's proud of her team.
Yeah, this is a team that's just really disappointed right now. We came here to win and advance in this tournament, and they did that. They've raised the expectations for this program, and I couldn't be more proud of that. Yeah, we're disappointed, but we're holding our heads high. This is a team that I would go to war with all day, every day. And I've just been blessed to be their coach.
And Amy says her team battled all night long against Louisville.
You know, I look at the box score. We gave up 18 offensive rebounds. They had 27 points off of our 24 turnovers. By all accounts, it should be probably a tail kicking. But it wasn't a tail kicking. It was a game, and we had a chance to win this game. And it's because those kids believe in themselves as winners. They compete. They play with each other and for each other, and it's a special thing that I wish I could just bottle up, but something I'm incredibly proud of all of them for, including Britt Prince.
Louisville made a little bit of a run there at the end of the first half against the Huskers, and at the beginning of the third quarter to kind of take control of this ball game.
Yeah, I thought that little run right at the end of the second quarter where we had a turnover that led to kind of an and one wasn't the way we wanted to close out the half, and then we came out at halftime, and I thought they amped up their defensive pressure just a little bit more. They were trying to make things difficult to get the ball to our guards to initiate offense, but when we settled in and just said, guys, just go play with some pace, get the ball and push tempo, we started to get back to what we do and play with, and we were able to come all the way back and take a lead and give ourselves a chance to win an NCAA tournament game. And I think that that fight, that resolve, that ability to stay locked in and never say die, never count us out is something that this team, I feel like, has been known for, and a strong characteristic trait for the individual players in the group and the team as a whole.
And Amy went on to say her team overcame a lot to just get to the NCAA tournament here this year.
Yeah, it's just the strangest emotion to feel like we're not just happy to be here. And so there's a strong disappointment and just bad taste in our mouth because this is a team that came to win, but just coupled with just pride. And the pride that I have, and I just feel so fortunate and blessed to coach this group because they have been really resilient. And when you spend a lot of time as a program talking about response and how you respond to the things that come your way, and then to watch this team just continuously respond in a way that they can be proud of, their families can be proud of, our program can be proud of, the University of Nebraska, our athletic department, the state of Nebraska, our fan base, everybody can be proud of. It's just, it just swells me with pride.
And get out the tissue. It was the final game for Husker great Alexis Markowski.
When I came to Nebraska, I remember my first meeting with Coach Williams. And, the only thing I said was, I'm just here to win, Coach. I just want to win. That's all I want to do. And I feel like we brought kind of winning back together at Nebraska. And it's not just me. It's everyone in the program just pouring into everyone. And there's been so many past players and even just younger girls that have helped me get to the point that I am, and the coaches. And I mean, it takes a village, it really does. And every person in that locker room pours in to each and every one of us to get us back to the tournament, winning games in the Big Ten tournament, getting to the Big Ten championship game, So I guess I kind of just did the one thing I wanted to do.
So the Huskers wrap up their season 21-12. They bow out of the NCAA tournament in the opening round.
But, you look back and the injuries that this team had to overcome. I mean, key contributors and components to that starting five that were shelved in the
Potts.
early portion of non-conference.
Yeah, Potts and Widener.
Yeah.
Potts before the season really got started, then Widener was early in the campaign. So two of your five starters to begin the year on the shelf within the first 5 games of the season.
Yeah. I mean, and Alexis is going to go down as one of the best to ever do it at Nebraska in terms of this women's program. And really, when you think of Nebraska women's basketball, it's going to eventually be on the Rushmore of it. And then here's the thing. You have to be excited as a Husker fan for the next 3 years of Britt Prince. completely showed up. I don't think was planning on seeing as much action on the floor as she got this year. Certainly with Potts and Widener, but when those injuries happened, it was next man up, and Britt answered the call and answered it beautifully, and really showcased that she's one of the best players in the country as a freshman. I can't wait for the next 3 years of Britt Prince, and hopefully that this women's basketball team can, get some more dominant post players around her, and continue to dominate in Big Ten recruiting, and we'll see where this thing goes. But I think it can really take off, and I don't think it stops just because Markowski graduates. I'm looking forward to. I think they've set the table this year, and that's what I'm going to say. And I think next year they eat. I'm really positive about the way Nebraska women's basketball and the direction that this program's heading. Absolutely.
All right, so that puts the caps on the Husker basketball season. We talked about high school baseball. We're going to switch gears again back to the Diamond. Adams Central, they got on the field 3 times over the weekend. They moved their game from Duncan Field to Wayne to play on Friday, and they went up there and beat a very good, actually lost to a very good Wayne team by the score of 12-11. They turned back around. They were supposed to host the Triangular on Saturday at Duncan. What do? No, we'll just go play at Louisville. And they beat Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer 15-4 in the first ball game. And then they beat Louisville 17-1. In the second game. They had some records set in those 3 games this weekend. The Patriots recorded their first team no-hitter in the school's history in the first game against the Guardian Angels Central Catholic West Point Beamer. They also set a school record with 14 stolen bases in the game. William Dyer set a school record with 4 stolen bases in that opening game on Saturday. Adams Central is now 25 for 25 in stealing bases through the first 3 games of the season. And Jacob Reichstein, he threw 5 1/3 innings in that second ball game against Louisville, struck out 11. So the Patriots, 2-1 in the season, will play at St. Paul Palmer coming up on Thursday. So a good start for the Pats. Yep. As they go 2-1 in the opening weekend. Moving around, there's some games. They thought they were going to have games Friday and Saturday at home, and they ended up playing on the road, and they're already road heavy this year. So Patriots giving away some home games this weekend just to get on the field, but they go 2-1 with games against Wayne, Guardian Angels, Central Catholic, West Point Beamer, and Louisville this weekend.
Aggressiveness is not going to be an issue for Adams Central on the base paths. And, you said 25. I think it's edited after Tim Stroman did some more calculations. They were 27 of 27 on stolen bases over the weekend. So, I mean, just running all over the base paths. They got, he said the strength of this team was going to be certainly on that starting rotation. That proves through with a combined no-hitter. Then you go 5 1/3 with double-digit strikeouts to Reichstein. So, yeah, this team is going to be a threat in Class C. There's no doubt about it. And so special shout-out to Tim for a fantastic start to the weekend for AC Baseball. Also wanted to give a special shout-out. Caught this blip of news. Alex Allard, the former Hastings College volleyball coach, has a new position. She has landed as an assistant at McNeese State in Division I play.
Really?
McNeese State Cowgirls. Alex Allard now going to be an assistant coach for that volleyball program. So a special shout out to former Broncos volleyball coach Alex as she moves into Division I.
All right, that's a good gig for her.
Yeah.
Hastings High baseball team, they had their first 2 games of the season postponed because of the weather conditions. They couldn't play against Norris and Bennington in the opening week. So the Tigers hope to open their season. Looks like things are all go for tomorrow. They'll play at York beginning at 4:30, and we'll meet up with both the Tigers and the Patriots later on as they get their seasons underway. We're heavy this week on Hastings College sports. The Broncos baseball team was supposed to play yesterday against Morningside. I drove by the field. There's still snow in the outfield.
Yeah.
Especially up against the fence at Duncan. So it was like a 3-foot drift like a day ago. It melted a lot. And certainly the remnants of the snowstorm are probably going to be gone here in the next day or two. But they're going to play today against Morningside. They're not going to hit the ball out there anyway. Yeah, it's right up against the wall at 405 feet away. I thought to myself yesterday, the wind was blowing in yesterday on a Sunday.
Yep.
And the only remnants of the snow that we could see was up against the wall out there at 408 and 405 feet away. Nobody was going to hit the damn ball out there anyway.
Can you imagine, though, like a laser of a line drive that rolls to the wall that gets stuck in the snow?
In the snow?
Well, and ends up being a ground rule double?
Yeah, just make it a ground rule double then. Make that part of the...
Dude, no. If I hit a ball into the power alley at Duncan Field, and this does not apply for me because I have a trailer that's attached to my back when I'm trying to run. But you're getting a 3-bagger out of that if you hit one in the gap. And if that's a ground rule double, I'm pissed. Again, I'm never going to get a triple. I'm probably standing up at first, maybe. But, yeah.
You could make that part of the grounds rules when they meet with the umpire. All right,
if the ball stuck in the snow.
If it gets stuck in the snow, wave your arms. It's like a softball when the ball bounces over the fence out there. And they give them a ground rule double.
I think if you have to say, if a ball gets stuck in the snow, it's a good time to say, hey, let's postpone this till tomorrow and give it a little bit more time to melt. So hopefully, hopefully that was the last blast of Mother Nature and we can get Diamond Sports up and rolling again because I'm excited to get this baseball season up and ramping here. And like you mentioned, we're heavy Hastings College this week, Hastings College baseball to start off. We'll have softball midweek action for you and into the weekend. So excited to get back with the Broncos and Coach Baker and we'll bring you some Diamond Sports as we transition officially into spring sports season.
Yeah, baseball today. We'll have softball on Wednesday. We'll have Hastings High baseball on Thursday, Hastings College baseball on Friday, Hastings College baseball on Saturday, and we'll also do the double thing as they're going to have Hastings College softball at the same time on Saturday. So we'll have Extreme Sports 1 and 2 with Bronco coverage on Saturday. So it'll be a busy week for sports this week, play-by-play sports.
Loving it.
Let's see what else is going on. Jameis Winston, mentioned that.
Jameis.
He's signing a 2-year contract with the Giants. Deal is worth $8 million is all. I say.
Yeah,
I say $8 million is all because everybody else is signing for hundreds of millions of dollars. Jameis, he takes $8 million for 2 years. Played for the Cleveland Browns last season.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So what? Like the Colts, they signed. They're the ones that got Daniel Jones, right?
I think so.
Who was formerly in New York.
You need a scorecard.
Jesus, don't you ever?
So now you need Jameis Winston's going to the Giants. You know who is still out there?
Who's still out there?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers, he was rumored to be maybe interested in the Giants gig. It's not going to be the case. Jameis Winston is there now. Evidently, Aaron Rodgers talked to the Pittsburgh Steelers again last week. In fact, he was talking with the Steelers for upwards of 6 hours at the end of last week. I think it was on Friday. He was in Pittsburgh.
Be a disaster.
See Aaron Rodgers in black.
That would be awful.
Black and gold. I know we got a lot of Pittsburgh fans that listen to this show.
Yeah. They would not be excited.
Still hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. His list of possibilities are dwindling, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a lot of spots left. Not a lot of spots left anymore.
Because he says he don't want to be a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But where's he going to go? Everybody else is pretty solidified in their starters, at least going into the off season, aren't they?
Just retire and start a podcast of conspiracy theories, man. Come on. Do what you do best, Aaron.
He could sit
It's
and
not
do
quarterback anymore.
And do a morning show in the dark.
Yes.
In his dark room. just sit in there and do the show in the dark. Aaron Rodgers.
And the sad part is he's have an audience. I want to switch gears really quick. And
hop back in the buggy.
We're going to the ice. 2 weeks ago, I would have told you that hockey season's over for my St. Louis Blues. They're the hottest team in the NHL right now, and they are doing exactly what they did in 2019 when they won the Cup, where they came back from dead ass last at the All-Star break. And so when you tell me that my bracket is sitting dead ass last, and I got to look myself in the mirror and call myself a loser, I'm saying, nay. I have data points to prove you wrong. In 2019 at the All-Star break, the St. Louis Blues were dead last. And they roared back. They went on this gigantic winning streak. They got into the NHL playoffs, and then they got hot. And then they won the damn thing. They won the whole thing. First ever Stanley Cup to be hoisted for the St. Louis Blues. They are now riding a 6-game winning streak and have put themselves not just in the contention, but they have put themselves firmly in wild card contention. They actually have a buffer, although there's a couple games in hand here that could swing things, but Calgary is now 4 points back of the Blues for the last wild card spot as the Blues try to continue their season. The St. Louis Blues, on a 6-game winning streak, are now in the playoffs if the season ended today.
When's the regular season end?
I think we've got like a handful of games left.
Okay, when the playoffs
it's winding down, second week of April, I think, is when things wrap up.
Yeah, when they get into the playoffs, I start to kind of notice what's going on.
Sure.
But right now, I couldn't tell you one thing that's going on in the National Hockey League, just like 99.9% of our listening audience.
I'm just giving you...
well, that's great. That's what the show's all about.
Giving you some knowledge.
I'll double you up here. NASCAR over the weekend.
NASCAR over the weekend.
God.
What'd we do? Did that one guy stop winning races?
What one guy?
Didn't he win like the first 3 out of the chute?
Yeah, Christopher Bell.
Denny Hamlin?
Yeah, Christopher Bell. He was not a factor yesterday.
Okay.
Kyle Larson won yesterday.
Oh, I like Kyle.
They were at Homestead Miami Speedway for the Straight Talk Wireless 400. Kyle Larson, the winner. Alex Bowman, second. Bubba Wallace finished third. Chase Briscoe, fourth. Denny Hamlin was fifth.
Okay.
So they'll move on now. They're going to be in Martinsville this weekend. Kyle Busch, he's got some sort of a big announcement coming up today.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Retirement?
is. I don't know. I'm a Kyle Busch fan. I'm kind of concerned. Kyle Busch has got an announcement coming up tonight at 6:51.
He's now one of the veterans of the sport, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time. So I don't know if he's changing teams. He's going to retire. Everybody's speculating.
He just made it like an ambiguous announcement?
Yep. Right out of the 5 races into the year, he's making a major announcement today. He called it 1851 at 1851, which is 6:51 tonight, but 1851 is a couple of numbers that he used to race. So I don't know what's going on. A little speculation there. Maybe is he starting his own team?
The intrigue grows.
Is he going to go race for somebody else and bring back 18 and 51 again?
If he starts his own team like Denny Hamlin and then brings the 18 and 51 car?
He used to have his own team in Truck Series. So there's a lot of speculation.
Intrigue grows. Elsewhere in motorsports, the McLarens finished 1-2. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, 1-2 at the Chinese Grand Prix.
Woohoo!
So the Fighting Papayas, as they are called, continue to dominate the F1 circuit.
All right, so that brings you up to date on everything that says sports.
I think we've covered all.
We've covered it all. Covered it all this morning. 7:54. You're listening to Mike and Tyson on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Lots going on at the state and federal level. We'll start first off with still cleanup continuing from last week's storms. Now Governor Jim Pillen declaring a state of emergency for more than 20 counties, including Clay, that were impacted by last week's winter storm. Clay County, the Fairfield area that was without power as of Friday morning, since has been restored. But the combination of rain, sleet, hail, heavy snow, high winds, resulting in multiple closures. Also, considerable damage to power lines that resulted in a loss of electricity across multiple areas of the state, the heaviest damage occurring in the eastern part. The peak outage was Thursday afternoon. Nearly 120,000 Nebraskans without power. Meanwhile, it has been a message of don't panic in the Nebraska Department of Education following news last week from the White House that the Trump administration intends to dismantle the Department of Education. Last Thursday, President Trump signing the executive order giving the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, permission to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the department and return authority over to the education to the states and local communities. Meanwhile, Nebraska Department of Education Commissioner Brian Maher sent in a statewide email to schools that we will deal with facts and said Nebraska is prepared to handle any challenges that change could bring to the state. Secretary McMahon and White House officials have publicly stated that it would require an act of Congress to eliminate the department. And we finish on the topic of Delta 8s, where we've seen a surge in stores that are selling them thanks to a law back in 2019 that the Nebraska legislature passed with a loophole that was created for companies to sell them. And now Nebraska's Attorney General is coming down hard on the businesses, saying stop selling the products or face a judge. Over the weekend, Mike Hilgers handed out a sweeping series of cease and desist letters sent to vape shops, dispensaries, and gas stations in the Omaha metro area. The letters sent to 104 stores tell businesses to accept a settlement agreement, which includes agreeing to pull all hemp-derived cannabis products off store shelves, or face a consumer protection lawsuit. Hilgers calls the resulting products synthetic cannabinoids and says the Nebraska legislature never intended to legalize them. With the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill and the subsequent state legislation in 2019, that bill made the sale of hemp legal so long as the concentration of THC was less than 0.3%. Coming up on 7:58, we'll swing it back over to the east side. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Nebraska baseball team, they dropped a 7-1 decision to USC yesterday, but the Huskers winning 2 of 3 games over the weekend. Out in California, Nebraska will play at Kansas State on Tuesday. First pitch will be at 6. The Nebraska softball team sweeping 3 games from Minnesota over the weekend in Lincoln. Huskers will play at Omaha on Wednesday. The Nebraska wrestling team finished as the NCAA runner-up this year at the 2025 NCAA Wrestling Championships. Huskers had a couple of champions in Ridge Levitt and Antrell Taylor. Hastings College baseball team, they'll play Morningside today out at Duncan Field. Action gets underway at 2. We'll have the games here on Extreme Sports beginning at 1:45. Hastings College softball team getting ready to host Concordia on Wednesday. Adams Central baseball team 2-1 in the opening weekend of their season. The Patriots will play at St. Paul Palmer on Thursday. Hastings High baseball team will hope to get their season started tomorrow with a game at York. And finally, the winners in the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament yesterday were Florida, Duke, Alabama, Michigan State, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Maryland, and Arizona. In all, 7 teams from the SEC have advanced to the Sweet 16, and Tyson still is in last place of our bracket challenge. 7:58 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Monday, guess what? More wind. That'll be the trend for the next few days, just like it's been over the weekend. On Monday, a high of 68 degrees. Those winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10. They will switch to the northwest 15 to 20, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, a low of 42. Windy once again, and a high of 70 on Tuesday. Then on the rest of the week, we'll have plenty of sunshine, dry conditions, and we'll hover right around the 60s to even 70s with 80s by the weekend.
Right now, south winds 5 miles per hour. It's cloudy, 36 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, located at 208 South Burlington, Suite 101 in Hastings. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating scalp treatments, and advanced Glow 2 facials, along with ozone therapy and frequency healing. Join us for our spring open house on March 29th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy free tours, 20% off all bookings, exciting giveaways, and a chance to win a $100 gift card for the first 30 product purchases. Become a member for 24-hour access to amenities like the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge, plus discounts on services and products. Visit us on Facebook to learn more. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Truly holistic care designed for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Urbanic. It's a Monday morning as we get you started here today, the 24th day of March for 2025. Yeah, Bamboo Mind and Body Spa, they're helping us out with our bracket challenge.
Lexi's in good shape.
Lexi right now, Lexi Brooks is on top of the leaderboard.
Destined for a potential spa day.
Yeah, a whole month's worth.
Mm-hmm.
24-hour access to all the amenities down there at Bamboo Mind and Body Spa. Plus, we got gift cards to a Bullseye Sports Bar and Grill.
You could have been towards the top of the leaderboard had they,
called traveling violation.
Forced somebody to dribble. Here, again, and I know I ruffled a few feathers, but it's your most basic rule. When you get taught how to play basketball, your number one thing that you get taught how to do is to move while dribbling the basketball. And Maryland failed to do that last night. They failed the most basic basketball rule. And it's like saying that you don't need to get 10 yards in football. If the game's winding down, you only need to get 9 yards.
Yeah, but it's close.
That's what I'm hearing from a lot of the rules analysts and experts is like you wouldn't call it in that situation. You'd still call a strike. You'd still call a ball. If it's your most basic rule, you got to ensure that rule is held intact.
Ryan Martin, who is a basketball official, says they won't make that travel call in a game point situation in a tourney like that. If he would have passed it, maybe, but not in the midst of making a game-winning shot. Why does that have anything to do with it?
I think it's going to be a topic that gets drawn out a little bit.
It's too
late.
That's
your most basic rule.
It's too late.
Well, I know, but I think the conversation's still going to continue.
Oh, yeah.
We got to fix it.
Maryland beats Colorado State. God, I'd be in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, you'd be in really good shape.
I'd be in good shape. I'd be in the top 5 right now with Colorado State winning. I guess I celebrated about 3 seconds too early. God, I was jumping for joy. I don't know a single soul in Colorado State. When they hit that shot, I was jumping for joy. It looked like they had just won the national championship. I just won $1 million.
Oh, I thought so too.
I was jumping up and down, and then Maryland goes down and gets a bucket because the guy traveled.
Yep. You can call a spade. He traveled.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
That's going to be discussion. I'm sure on Beeson the rest of the day you're going to hear a lot of it. So just stay there. The guys that are probably smarter than us, they'll talk about it. But yeah, I think they missed one. I think they missed one.
Colorado State got screwed.
We'll have baseball today. Hastings and Morningside action gets underway at 1:45 this afternoon. Pregame show. Morningside in town to take on the Broncos. 2 games beginning at 2. And we'll have a coverage here on Extreme Sports. Morningside, one of the top teams in the conference. They're also receiving votes for the national poll this week. So think they've lost like 3 games all year long.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're real good.
They're like 18-3
Mm-hmm.
with a tie. I don't know where the tie came in, but I think they're 18-3-1 on the season. They'll take on the Broncos today.
Let's go. Hey, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. We'll have it for you
Sun's out.
beginning at 2 this afternoon, 1:45 for the pregame show here on Extreme Sports. You'll have a 24 hours to soak in your performance for the brackets.
24 hours to soak in my losingness.
Yeah, so until tomorrow when we get together, and I'll remind you again that you're in last place.
I've been bathing in losingness my entire life. Like, what's the difference?
You've been
I'm
losing.
comfortable here, man.
You're comfortable. You're right where you thought you were going to be. Yeah, you're right where you thought you were going to be, in last place.
My bracket was who I thought it was.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, all right. All right, well, enjoy your day, and we'll get back together again tomorrow morning at 7. Again, you can listen to the show again. Go to our podcast section on one of our social media sites. You'll find the podcast section. You can listen to us again, even on the Roku TV. There's a spot where you can listen to this show again in its entirety. We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7. Thanks for joining us.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports.